Hey witches, it's Rach. I'm gonna do, the roller derby witch, in case you didn't see the name of the channel you're watching, which, whatever, that could happen. I've done it before. So I'm gonna do the 16 witchy questions tag that Ravenflower posted, I don't know, a week or so ago, and I'm just now getting around to making a video because everything is terrible. Okay, so number one is, do you have a witchy name and how did you come by it? I don't, because I feel like I have enough alter egos. I have Rach Against the Machine, which is my derby name, my roller derby name, Rach for short. And then I kind of also have an after party name, Vodka Rach, because when vodka and Rach meet, they become Vodka Rach, and I just am the party at that point. So I have enough alter egos, so to speak. Plus, I don't know if I could come up with one that didn't sound weird. Like, I feel like everybody else has the cool ones, so I'll just stay Rach the Roller Derby Witch for now. Alright, so where am I located? I'm on the Beast Coast, in Maryland. And what brought me to the area, or where was I born here? I was born and bred and educated and witchified here, in Maryland. Number three, do I wear special amulet or jewelry for spell work? No. I've seen a lot of people do that. I kind of feel it's weird. I feel constricted by the metal somehow, or even the cloth, if it's like a cotton cord or something like that, the chain. I feel constricted by it in a way. And I know metal's natural, the cotton from the cord is natural and stuff like that. So what I end up doing is I put, like, this is my Morrigan ring. I've showed this in other videos. I put this on the altar while I'm doing the things. So I don't necessarily wear anything. I don't go skyclad. It's not like clothes are a problem. But for some reason, when I'm doing my this kind of stuff or this kind of stuff, the jewelry feels like it's constricting something, almost like something's bouncing off of it back into me when I want it to come out. I don't know. It's a weird. I don't know how to describe it other than that. All right. What is your favorite space or place? My witchy room, the beach, any beach, the river right here outside of my office, or the beach, the ocean beach, whatever. And also my garden, my herb garden in particular. I have other gardens in my yard that are like the secret garden right now. They're so wild. We have so much insane rain here, but and about to get more with hurricane and tropical storm on its heels coming up the coast. But yeah, my garden, especially the herb garden, because it smells good. I can go through and touch everything. Then I bring it in the house and I cook with it, or I use it for workings, or what did I make the other day? Tea rose and dandelion muscle rub, for derby people and other people who have sore muscles. I guess there are people who don't play roller derby who have said problems. Okay, so my favorite stone for crystal or magical workings, amethyst. It's a Morgan stone. It's a me stone. I've felt close to it since I was a little kid. One of my very first stones that I ever collected from like a rock shop was an amethyst. How long have I been practicing and how did I come to the path? I did a whole video on this. I feel like I've been in it forever, but I didn't know what to call it until about 4 years ago. But on and off I've been delving into, since about maybe like about 11 or 12, into occult stuff, magical witchy type things. I was always a weird kid. I always liked the villain. I didn't like the good guys. I thought they were dumb. And it was the bad guys I liked who had magical powers, who were, into spells, witchcraft, whatever. But I came to this path through a lot of disappointment, particularly with the way Christian churches viewed my eldest son, the one with autism, and how they treated us when we asked for whatever. Okay, let's just say the Catholic Church. When I asked for him to have the second, like the first communion and first penance things, and they're like, oh, well, he's autistic. He believes anything you tell him. That's not faith. That they don't have the capacity for faith. And I think that is complete bullshit. So through a lot of disappointment, a lot of research. I don't raise my children witchy. Try to raise them as good people and let them find their own path whenever they're ready. But I was just done. I was disappointed with all that things. And I had a lot of little things happen here and there. That goes towards the next question. So, okay, do you have a deity or god or goddess? How did you connect with them? Yes, I am a daughter of the Morrigan. She is a Irish Celtic war love, sex, sovereignty, motherhood, land, everything goddess. She's one of those all-encompassing women of divine, whatever you want, divine woman, whatever you want to say. How did I connect with them? I had a lot of little hints growing up. My weird obsession with Irish literature, particularly myths and legends, Celtic knots, and I always wanted to go to Ireland. I literally didn't talk to my mom for like 2 weeks after she got back from Ireland because I didn't get to go. Anyway, but a lot of little things along the way, involvement with animals and stones, like I said, amethyst, garnet, jet, obsidian, have always found their way to me in the form of either an actual stone or jewelry or whatever. And a lot of little hints with animals like crows and cows and even wolves, even though I live in an area where there are no wolves. I just vividly remember going to a zoo one time and a wolf literally being as close to me as any of the other kids. I mean, there was a fence and everything, but just stared at me. And I just didn't know at the time what it meant, but probably what it meant. And then eels. I have a story about an eel that I adopted as a child. And we all, if you follow over the Morgan, you know she has an eel, representation. So that's how. My favorite incense or smudge, I love a lavender sage bundle for cleansing and stuff. And then my own personal Morgan protection, which is lavender, sage, rose petals. There's white copal resin in there. There's a few other things. I can't remember it off the top of my head. There's a video, though. It's already made in my 33 Days with the Morgan that I did. Okay, have you ever had to clear a space of negative entity? Yes. I also have a story about that in another video. I was at home alone, pregnant, and felt a very ominous kind of presence. Started to hear Native American drums, and it wasn't like a happy-go-lucky kind of party drum, and I got the hell out of there and went to my grandmother's house, she was kind of psychic, and she said, "You were right to come here." Handed me a bundle of sage and said, "Go on home and do this once you know your husband's home." So anyway, not that I couldn't handle it on my own, she just didn't want me to have to do it pregnant by myself, because you're more vulnerable. You have something inside of you that's between worlds, so to speak. So that's why. Let me see. What is my favorite witchy show and or movie? I love The Craft. I know it paints witchcraft as kind of evil, but it also shows the good that the good witch can do to combat the witches who've gone crazy with power. I don't exactly like the mena part of it. That's not part of my craft, but like, hey, if it's yours, have at it. My favorite witchy show, again, shows witches as kind of evil, crafty, underhanded, but I love Salem. And I know a lot of people don't watch that quite yet, because not everybody has WGN, which is the network that it's on. But if you've got Netflix, go check it out. There's the first couple seasons, I think, are on Netflix right now. I think. Don't quote me on that. But it's a good one. I like it. And plus I love that time in history, colonial, up to Revolutionary War kind of time. It's kind of my favorite part of American history. It's not everyone's favorite part, I can guarantee you that, but I think it's rich, and I live in an area where that history abounds, so I'm used to it. What do you do to help raise energy before spell work? I do sometimes take a bath, if I know I'm going to do something, but a lot of my practice is very primitive, in where I'm like in the emotion, and I feel the energy, and I feel the need to do it, so I do it when I got to do it. Like, I had a friend at roller derby hurt herself pretty badly in a practice a couple weeks ago, but she desperately wanted to play in our last home game of the season. So I just immediately after I knew what was going on, concussion, I went right home with the blue and the white candles and all of this stuff, and wrote her name and her derby name and her number and her injury, the area of her, head injury, and then wrote, all the things on the candle, rolled it into Morgan healing oil, battle healing oil, which is something I use after derby stuff. Not necessarily for injury, but for me it added the oomph, and then rolled it in lavender flowers, Morgan flower, in my opinion, for me, and then lit them, and then did a whole thing with the altar and asking her for help to heal my friend, and she did end up getting to play in our last game. So that was, I'm not going to attribute it completely to me because medicine had something to do with it, rest and relaxation, but I feel like I helped a bit. Let's see. Oh, raising energy. I do this. I know Lady Grave Dancer has done a video about energy balls, and I'm not even doing it hard right now because I don't want it bouncing around my office all day. Yeah, I do the hand rubbing and the hand holding down. I also have a full length Celtic sword that I sometimes will put the tip right on top of whatever it is I'm doing, just to kind of focus it pretty heavily. My athame is tiny and it doesn't always do the job. So that's kind of what I do with that. Do you see yourself helping others magically? Well, I just gave a pretty good example of that, didn't I? I just did it a couple weeks ago. Like I said, I'll do it my own way like that, but I am not going to get paid for it. It's not that I don't trust my abilities, it's that I kind of like to keep them selfish, and that I want to keep them for me and who I care about. Like, if some jerk off that I don't like is like, hey, can you do a spell for me? I'm going to be like, no, back off. Maybe I'm a jerk like that, but I feel like I don't want to get burnt out. I've seen so many friends, witchy friends, get burnt out doing stuff like that, and I don't want to be burnt out for myself or my friends or my family. What is my preferred form of divination? That's number 13. I have a very amazing amethyst pendulum that I just love, and I use that. But I also feel like my dreams are divination based. When I wake up, sometimes after having one of these dreams, I feel like I've had a pendulum in my hand, and you know, I feel like there's a decision when I wake up from these dreams. So that's you know, whatever. That's a whole different topic, I think. So what element do I work with the most? Fire. I have a fiery kind of soul, even though I've been told my aura is green and orange, like earthy and motherly and stuff like that, which is fine, but I like cleansing by fire, like slash and burn, you know, kind of thing. So I'm burning candles, I'm burning incense, I'm burning leaves with shit written on it, I'm burning paper with shit written on it, I'm burying the ashes, just really just kind of slash and burn witchcraft. Just kind of the way I put it. Let me see. If you threw a party, which of the YouTube witches would you invite? Okay, first of all the Morgan witches, because I do not know one personally in my real life. I'm the only one that I know. I have a suspicion that my cousin is gonna end up daughter of the Morgan, but she's younger and she's just kind of feeling it out, and I'm not gonna pressure her. She knows that I do, and I don't want to pressure her. But so basically, Joey Morris, Eric Silvermoon, Ember Honey Raven, Wade from Witch Please, who he and I've developed a little Facebook Messenger friendship after being in the YouTube Pagans group. Laura Daligan, Night Willow Craft, Solitary Witch Tracks, Summer Stitchin' Witch, Natalie Suzanne, and the Chaos Witch, who is not a Morgan follower, I don't think, but she also plays Derby, and like, that's rare to find somebody who in Derby is not afraid to talk about what they do in their craft, you know. I know a couple others, but it's very hush-hush in the back room, locker room after everyone's left, whatever kind of thing. So anyway. Okay, so here's a question that I struggled with, and I might have to do a whole other video on this at some point. What are your witchy goals for the new year? I don't know. My whole life has been in a giant state of turmoil this entire year. 2016, somebody told me it's the year of Kali, which is the year of death and destruction, which we know death has happened. Plenty of deaths, in fact, both famous people and very violent deaths in the streets, lots of terrorism and stuff like that all over the world. It's been a deathy year, which is a terrible way to put it, but it really has. And my personal life is kind of in turmoil, and I feel in turmoil inside. So I feel like I want to kind of bring those things to the surface next year, and like I said, slash and burn them. You know what? Slash and burn farming is one of the most popular ways to do things in the primitive kind of culture. You burn all. Anyway, like I was saying, insufficient card, whatever. Ashes are good for the soil, and I need this 2016, the ashes of 2016, to sow the soil for next year and years further. I've talked about it before. A lot of people on my derby team left for either good or bad reasons. You know, one of my kids is having a real difficult time at school right now for more than one reason, both educational and social. You know, the other one, I've talked about him before, it's you know, it's a better struggle now, but it's still a constant struggle to have a child on the autism spectrum in public school. And like my husband's a cop, that's a dangerous thing to be in right now. Plus he and I aren't always getting along about anything and everything. It's an election year. It's been a crazy fucking thing, and something terrible could really happen in this election. It really could, and I'm terrified about it. So anyway, moral of the story is I cannot wait for this year to be over. I love Samhain, and I love the Yule time, and I love all of that stuff. But bye-bye. Bye 2016. So, hold on. I couldn't tell if that was the work buzzer, the camera buzzing. I don't know. I shouldn't do videos at work. It's just the way it is. Anyway, if I didn't, I wouldn't get any done. Okay, so I want to tag in this the Chaos Witch, who I just mentioned is a fellow derby witch, and want to know more about her. 16 questions that could get it, you know, whatever. And also Wade, Witch Please. I know you're in the middle of your 31 days with Morgan, and that's super stressful, and this is fun. So take a second out of your super deep Morgan work and make a fun video. All right, guys, till next time.